And then,
get to see how crazy we really are behind the scenes.
Yeah, scary thought.
Oh god, he's got to deal with all of the shit that we do that doesn't get cut out in editing.
You say we, like the rest of us are involved in your shit.
Well, I mean, you guys are. You just aren't doing it willingly.
Right, we're not involved in it.
We sit back and watch you with
innocent bystanders run off the sidewalk by your crazy driving.
I wouldn't call you guys innocent.
I would.
I wouldn't.
Well, that's the difference between you and me, because I would.
You guys are definitely not innocent.
I love you no matter what, but...
Warning, the following show will spoil the hell out of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire books and the TV show A Game of Thrones. Also, you're probably going to find a fuck ton of bad language. The explicit tag is there for a reason.
Death and boobies, 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 death and boobies.
Hello and welcome back to the Ironwood Network Book Club. This is your host, Lady Wyvern, and with me today, as always, is Maester Ironwood and Widow Wolfsbane. Widow Wolfsbane.
Apparently nobody can say her name.
No one can say my name. I maintain that it's widows because I'm a widow twice.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
It's a convention of some language somewhere.
And I listened to Donald Trump speak the other night, so... Lady Wyvern, since you're doing the introduction, what are we breaking down today?
We are breaking down Daenerys chapter 3.
Daenerys' third chapter.
So not only do I have to record in the dead of night, when I hate recording, but I also have to record a fucking Daenerys chapter at the same time.
Because you love it! Not Daenerys and not recording at night, but you love the podcast, so you're just you're doing it.
Taking one for the team.
Yeah, you are.
Sometimes you just have to.
Yep, taking one for the team. Alright, so we have a Daenerys chapter.
I'm super excited for it. I
like this chapter.
Super excited for it. Why don't you go ahead and give us a synopsis?
Oh my god.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
He doesn't want to talk about it. Alright. So
there are things in this chapter I definitely want to talk about.
There are things, yeah, I love this chapter.
Sadly enough, none of them relate to Daenerys. So,
well, why would they?
That's fine because this chapter is a lot of storytelling.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of storyline.
Yeah,
it's just
storytelling.
There's
a lot of character development in this
story
chapter,
time with Jiqui.
Yeah,
is that how you pronounce her name, Jiqui?
I think so.
I thought it was Jiqui, but
I would call you a Jiqui.
Well, I think on the TV show they call her Jiqui, so I'm just going with Jiqui.
I guess
that works for me. GP works for me.
Whatever.
So,
I mean, it's Jamiroquai, whatever.
Oh my god,
Jamiroquai.
But yeah, so there's a lot of character development. Oh my god, that took a second to process.
Rocking out the 90s alternative drop.
Hell yeah.
Oh dear god.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so we start off the chapter learning about the Dothraki Sea by Mormont, and Daenerys and Mormont have decided to ride ahead of everybody. So they're having their own nice little conversation. She starts riding off a little further, tells Mormont, hey, tell them all to wait, because I'm a Khaleesi and I can. And so she takes off for a little while. She wants a few minutes by herself, and then Vicerys comes up out of nowhere and starts acting like a douche. And then...
So he's Vicerysing.
Yeah, he's Vicerysing, indeed. Yeah, he's now a verb. So he's Vicerysing. He grabs her by the tit again and starts trying. And, so then...
I mean, to be fair, you see tits, you gotta grab them.
We're not discussing in this... Let her do the synopsis.
Oh, wait,
I feel like I don't go a single episode without having to say it. Let's get back to it.
Okay, my book decided to say fuck you. Sorry.
Beep.
Just cut it out. We're doing that too. But yeah, so Viserys is being a douche. He's being himself. And so then the Dothraki riders come up, her Khas come up and start defending her. Khas, whatever. Start defending her. She
her cosplay?
I would love to be a cosplay of her. Just saying. That blue dress. Oh, hotness. So
I just want her shirt.
Yeah. So she tells them, don't hurt my brother, not what I'm into right now. However, you get to walk back to the Khalasar, so fuck you. And then, and she explains to us that nobody who is important walks in the Khalasar. Only slaves, basically, and stuff like that walk.
The low of the low.
Yeah, the lowest of the low. So she literally has just castrated him in front of everybody, socially. And then she starts talking about her man and how he's in no way the most romantic person ever, if anything, like the least romantic person ever. And then she starts talking to her handmaidens. Well, he's a dude. He's got needs. He just comes in the middle of the night, gets his needs done, and falls asleep.
He's a dude.
Well, they can do that.
With his boys.
Yeah.
That's
what he does. He hangs out with his blood riders, and then he's drinking some, I don't know, I would assume like in the Scorpion
fermented
King.
Horse milk?
Yeah, say the Scorpion King, it's the yak piss or whatever, the fermented yak piss, so I would assume it's something like that here.
It's fermented horse's milk.
Yeah. So,
Mare's milk.
Mare's milk. So, they start doing that. Then, Dani, saying as far as, like, she becomes a better rider, she does, like, more awesome stuff. She starts talking to Jorah some more, and realizes that Jorah hates her brother too. Just jumped backwards and then forwards again. Anyway, so Jorah hates her brother too, and then we go back forward again. So she's talking to Jaquie. What's her name? Jaquie, did we say? Jaquie. So she's talking to Jaquie, and she's also talking to her Lysine girl, who I can't remember the name of right now.
Dorea.
Yeah, so Dorea. So, and she's talking to the three of them about history. The two Dothrakis don't know anything about history because
mythology.
They're Dothraki. Well, I mean, just
they know Dothraki history.
Yeah, but they don't know anything about any other history. Like they just
because
know
they're Dothraki.
Yeah, and they don't.
And she doesn't know Dothraki history because she's not Dothraki.
Yeah,
kind of makes sense that they each kind of know the history of the people that they spent their lives around.
I don't know because Jorah,
how that works.
Jorah knows both.
Wow.
So
Jorah lived in the Seven Kingdoms,
guys,
and was educated, and then went over to Essos and lived with the Khalasar. So kind of makes sense that they also know all of that.
That's fair.
You can wait till after the synopsis.
Oh,
Hi, I'm going to wave back at you. Hi, waving back.
All right. I'll shut up. All right.
So, but anyway, so she does that. She has Dorea stay with her for a little while, and then when the call comes to visit her again that night, she insists that they're not gonna have sex in the tent like they've been doing. She takes him outside because anything that's important gets done under the stars by Dothraki decree. And then they start having the nasty dirty. She undresses him in front of everybody.
Yeah,
and then she mounts him.
Instead of doing it doggy style.
Yeah, instead of doing it doggy style, she mounts him and rides him the way she's been riding her horse the past couple of days after she finally figured out how to ride the right way. So there's that. And then that's how we end the chapter. About her being 14 years old, finally on her name day, and What's-Her-Face is like, hey, your boobs are bigger, you got a baby growing in you. Well, she, like, rubs her belly. And the show, she grabs her by the boob and is like, oh, when was the last time you bleed, Khaleesi? And now she's just like, hey, look, you got a baby bump.
You skipped over the most important part of the chapter.
Yeah, because I didn't want you to get into it.
Do you even know what part it is?
Is it the part where they're talking about, hold on, let me go back to it. The part where the common people pray for rain, healthy children in summer that never ends?
No, it's conspiracy.
Nope.
Yeah, then I don't know what the most
or
important part
is. Or is it the mythology
Is it
comparison?
the weather?
No.
Because the weather is beautiful, and I do have a weather report for us.
It's something about the... Well, that's the middle of the chapter, so let's start at the beginning.
No, that's not the important part either.
See, the weather's in this whole chapter, so I can do the weather report at any time, you guys. I'm just saying, it starts with weather and it ends with weather.
The most important part is Dani's dream.
Oh, yeah, I did skip over her dream.
Well, let's not go back to it just yet.
We'll get there. I'm excited about it, too, because I highlighted a couple parts of it. I like that dream.
Because I was informed that her dreams maybe don't make her stronger the last time I brought it up.
They don't make her stronger?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Remember the first time we did a Dani chapter, or the second time, and we were talking about her dream, and I said, well, yeah, it's like her dreams make her stronger.
Oh.
And you guys are like, no, I don't think so. And yet in this one, she has her dream, and then all of a sudden she can ride her horse well, and she's not afraid.
No, I think she was less afraid before the dream, too.
Nope. It says specifically that it happened right after the dream. Just like the last time where she had her dream.
Because the night she had the dream was the night she was going to kill herself.
Yes.
Oh. But let's start at the beginning of the chapter.
Yeah, she did get a little suicidal in there for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so
in the beginning,
In the beginning,
there was
darkness.
Vast grass sea.
Oh, I was going to say there was darkness and some dust that congealed into a big explosion.
That ain't the Bible. Nope.
I thought that was how... That's how Stardust and things...
That's how the Big Bang Theory starts.
Well, yeah, but this isn't that either. This is the Great Dothraki Sea. So in the beginning, there was a great, vast grass sea.
Oh, and there's ghost grass, too. I like the ghost grass, by the way.
That's not in this sea, though.
Not in this sea, but they say that sea is going to take over all the other seas. That the white, the ghost grass, that's how the world ends.
I know what part you're talking about, but that's not...
But it's all green.
Neither here nor there.
I'm pretty sure it's there, but it's just not here.
I don't think there's really a there.
Not that we're aware of, anyway. Okay.
So, who's got something that they want to discuss?
Get the weather out of the way.
Do we have a weather report?
Oh, I told you, there's weather all over this chapter. I got lots of weather report. So
really the same the entire way through.
That's what I'm saying, but it's mentioned like 3 times in the chapter. It's mentioned through all parts of the chapter. So today, Widow Wolfsbane and her Westerosi weather report, even though we're in Essos, in this specific chapter anyway.
So the Essos weather report.
So the Essos weather report says that it is beautiful, clear skies and bright sunshine, guys. Get your picnic baskets ready, because it's going to be a beautiful couple of weeks here as we're making our way over to Vastathrak. So...
Vastathrak.
I like Vastathrak.
That's not how it's pronounced.
That's how I pronounce it.
You don't count.
I don't
No,
count.
you don't.
I do count because I'm doing the weather.
The listeners will be very disappointed if you just start making up names for everything.
Or
saying
saying
it wrong on purpose.
Would they be surprised, though?
I'm pretty sure the listeners at this point are used to me making up names.
Yeah.
No, it's Vastathrak.
Anyway, they're going there, and it's beautiful out. It's a bright, sunshiny day.
Little breeze going on.
Bright, sunshiny day.
Thank you.
Had to do it.
So...
Had to do it.
Yep, so clear skies all the time. No rain in the forecast. We're doing good, guys. We're doing good. So, alright. And then, past the weather report. I like Jorah goes through descriptions. Bunch of grass. Blooms occasionally. Yeah, blooms occasionally. Makes everything go from green to red.
Sounds like my kind of grass.
Oh my god. Did I say blue to red? Because I think I said blue to red.
Green to red.
Okay, I did say green to red. Okay. For some reason I thought blue.
There is blue.
I want to know...
He does talk about bluegrass.
He talks about down in the
Bluegrass,
Shadowlands beyond Ashai, and I don't know where that is.
That's where...
Like in the map. Like, I haven't seen that spot in the map.
Okay, so here's where they are, the Great Death. Okay, so here is Pentos.
Yeah.
Here's King's Landing.
Yeah.
Here's the Great Dothraki Sea.
Yeah.
Here's Ashai by the Shadow.
Jesus Christ.
It's past Valyria.
It's on another continent.
All the way out there.
It's as far as the map goes.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's not on the map.
No world.
Right by the Saffron Straits.
That's a far distance.
Yes.
Do people ever actually get there in a lifetime?
Not recently.
Sandra's been there.
Oh, that's true.
Quaith is from the Shadow by Ashai.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting stuff.
I would assume Miri Mazdor has also been there.
Mm.
Oh, the witch.
The witch.
Yeah.
Burn her!
Burn her
They
anyway! She turned me into a dupe.
Got better.
Okay, so, I want to know why Dani and Mormont are so far ahead of everybody.
Because she needs her peace.
I would assume that.
But isn't the Hall
guard.
supposed to be at the head of the Khalasar? Like, isn't he supposed to be leading everybody? Or is that
not necessarily? It's just as long as they're like within, 200 meters.
He would lead them into battle, but it doesn't mean he has to lead the procession.
So all right. So he's at the front of the procession somewhere.
I would assume that
it's not pointed.
Like if they were entering Vase Dothrak,
it's not pointed
to like a big procession of the Khalasar coming in, that he would be at the head.
Okay.
I would assume that in battle he's at the front with his Blood Riders.
Okay.
But just kind of like moving around. I mean, they
just
describe it as like a giant moving city.
Yeah.
So it's probably not like a straight line back. It's probably like spread out over
miles.
It could be miles wide.
That's some pretty hella destruction of like flattening out the grass as they go by.
Yeah.
Well, they did say no one could ever get lost.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's what Mormont says about
Yeah.
Viserys. He'll find his way back, or the Khalasar will find him. I mean, it's an entire moving goal, so...
Yeah, because isn't it like 40,000 people that they have with them right now?
Yeah. Well, 40,00001 now that
So
Dani's
it's
there.
just a giant
true.
herd of people walking across the field.
Yeah.
Or the sea.
Wait, 40,002 because...
Oh, Viserys. I don't
Viserys
count
is
him.
there
He's
too.
like half a person.
Okay, so 40,001 and a half.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Poor Viserys.
No.
No, he's less than a dwarf.
Ooh, ouch.
You know, I have some people that I know that would get very offended by that, but he doesn't listen to the podcast, so...
I know, I think last episode I said something about don't call them dwarfs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Alright.
In the book they're all dwarfs, so it's not
That's
like...
true.
I think... Alright, so I also want to, like, get into this, how they're riding. So both Viserys and Dani have very little horses for them to no riding experience at this point of their lives because they haven't been... Even though they've been with Illyrio for a while,
Yeah.
like, he's apparently doesn't have horses for them to learn on.
Or they
Or
just
there's-
never cared
Yeah,
enough.
well, I feel like the thing is that they would care because anyone who's a
Viserys
noble
isn't that
person-
smart, though.
He's
He
not.
carries a
That's fair.
sword and doesn't know how to use it. So no, he wouldn't
But the thing is
practice
that
riding a horse because he needed to ride a horse.
I feel like he would though because he would know that any king or leader that goes into battle would have to ride at
Any
the front.
king or leader needs to know how to use a sword.
Yeah,
He
but
doesn't know how to use
but
a
he's
sword.
never had a sword. So I wonder if Illyrio, like, he has those
Yeah,
things.
he got a borrowed sword.
Yeah, he's got a borrowed sword from Illyrio, but I wonder if he has those things now, but he hasn't had them before. Like,
Well,
he's been
probably
being
he
denied
hasn't
that.
had them,
Well,
but
he's the beggar king, so...
yeah, but Illyrio, I don't know how many horses Illyrio would have if he has any on his estate that they
I
would
assume
want
he
to
has a
ride
ton.
with.
I assume he has a ton because he has a by slave thingy.
there's a trading company.
Well, no, he has like a carriage box for himself.
No, that's fair. So he would
Unless
have
A
that's,
wheelhouse?
that could
But
be carried by slaves.
a wheelhouse?
For all I know, but
most horses that pull carriages and horses that people ride on do not have the same musculature. They
No.
would not. You can't just like have a horse that pulls a carriage and then put a saddle on it.
We're not gonna get into a 7-hour discussion about different types of horses like we did the last time with whether Catelyn can ride or not.
Well, no, but
no,
yeah,
no.
we're not going there.
We're not doing
We're
that.
not going there. But I'm just saying,
Just
you can't.
possibly he has horses. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
He probably does or does not. But you can't.
You're right.
I'm
You're
sorry.
right. He probably one or the other.
One or
Absolutely.
the other. Yeah.
Probably.
Because if Illyrio doesn't ride, he probably doesn't have riding horses. And you can't just throw a saddle on a
Again,
carriage
we're
horse.
not getting. Again, this is a fantasy world, so we don't care about very specific things.
I do.
Whether there are horses or not is something that we would care about.
You're breaking my heart.
You know,
You're breaking my heart.
don't care.
It's falling
achy,
apart.
breaky heart.
Don't care.
My achy, breaky heart.
Oh my god, no.
Christ.
Don't kill my heart. My achy breaky heart.
Oh my
Might
goodness.
blow up and kill this man.
That's not.
Yes, that's how it goes.
That is how that goes.
I had to sing it for chorus, so I know the entire fucking song.
That's
word
hilarious.
for word.
I'm sorry.
Okay. But yeah, so anyway, because it
Like,
says that
we never get the
I think he
indication that
learns-
Viserys can't ride. Like,
Yeah,
he
I
seems
say-
like he can
Except
ride
he's
just
really
fine.
sloppy at it.
he's, well, the thing
Well,
is that
he's
he
like
hasn't adjusted to the short
he's like a
stirrups.
douchey teenager. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
he
think
probably
he does,
didn't pay attention in horsemanship lessons.
yeah, I say, but he's also, because it says that he can't get the hang of the shortened stirrups and the flat saddle.
Right, it's
So
a
he probably
different
knows
type
how
of
to
riding
ride.
than he's used to.
Yeah, so it's like going from English to Western.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
Whatever.
Some people
You
will
don't
do
have
that
to
things.
explain it,
I'm
I
not
know.
going to.
Is
I'm
one
just
of those
saying.
the fancy dancing horses? The dressage?
No, it's
Yeah,
the way
English
the
is dressage.
saddles.
It can be dressage.
It's the way the saddles are designed.
It
I
is the
think.
way the saddles are designed.
Yes, and I knew a fancy word for horse riding.
You did know a fancy
Yay,
word for horse riding.
you!
Horse dancing, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
is what I call
I
it.
built a website for a horse
Yeah.
riding company people.
I don't know.
One
I feel
time.
like the reason he's having a hard time with it though is because he's going. It's just the way that he's transitioning from one to the other.
I think he's transitioning very poorly, or he just doesn't give a shit.
No, I think he just can't. I think he can't handle it because he's also tall and lanky.
Oh, and he's got
a skinny-
short stirrups.
Yeah, he's got short stirrups, and he's a tall, lanky motherfucker.
Did they give him
So
short
his
stirrups
knees
on
are like-
purpose?
No, I think it's just the style of the saddle because you want.
So they can stand up and fire their bow and arrows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, like, because if
That
your
would
horse is
explain
galloping...
why it's, okay.
Yeah, if your horse is galloping, your stirrups need to be up out from behind where their legs are going to be so that you're not in their way.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So they're used to sitting squat on their horse, so when they're, like, going by with the... What's the hell's name of the thing?
An arc.
The arc. When they're going by with the arc, they can just, like, lean over a little bit and, like, cut
that
someone's
would
head
explain
off.
why it's flat then, so keep them stable more.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he does that, and I like that they were talking about Illyria when they were leaving, that, like, Viserys is being his douchey self, where he goes, he better not make me wait this long to get my goddamn crown, and Illyria's like,
he pats his sword.
Yeah, he's like patting his sword, like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, and Illyria's just like,
okay.
Yeah. He's just got that blinking, like, he's just got that blinking guy meme, or whatever. That's all I see is the blinking guy meme, like, and Illyria was just like, oh, yeah, sure, have fun, bye.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my house. Even though Illyria was actually like, no, you should probably stay with me. Because Illyria probably knew he was going to get himself killed.
Yeah. Which he almost got himself killed in this chapter, because Dani goes off by herself at the beginning.
Yeah.
And tells Jorah that the Khaleesi commands that everybody wait at the ridge.
Yep.
And Viserys decides to follow her along.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then she shoves him after he grabs her.
Yeah, he grabs her and he has his hand, like, up on her tit.
And she starts thinking, oh, he's gonna hit me. He's gonna hit me really hard for doing that. And then just as he's about to do that, Jogo comes up with the whip and snaps it around his neck and yanks him to the ground. I'm
surprised, though, that, like, Drogo himself didn't do anything about the fact that
he wasn't there.
He probably wasn't anywhere near them.
Still,
Jogo was one of her protectors.
Yeah.
So that's why Jogo was there.
Well, I know, but I'm surprised that, like, that Drogo, like, after hearing it, because I'm sure he heard about this. I'm sure...
later that night when they all...
Yeah, I would say, I'm sure word travels in this place easily.
The situation was handled. He doesn't need to get involved.
I mean, that's fair.
Jogo did his job.
Yeah.
Dani was listened to and her orders were followed.
That's all that matters.
And Viserys was punished. So the whole situation was taken care of.
So he's like, alright, wash my hands of this madness.
Basically, yeah. Like, I don't gotta get involved. I can still drink and watch people have sex and die.
Yep.
And I don't have to worry about it.
It's true.
Because everything turned out the way it should.
I want to know I want to know the time frames of which they're traveling. Like, when are these people drinking and dying and, like, having sex in the fields?
At night, when they're
It's
not
every evening, because he says that the Khal sits with his blood riders in the evenings and watches dancing naked women and men dying.
Yeah, they walk until the sun sets, and then they make camp.
They make camp, and then the Khal sits there with his blood riders and drinks.
And then after he gets...
And then after
the whiskey dick phase passes, that's when he comes into Daenerys' tent in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Well, not everybody gets whiskey dick. Some people, it's the exact opposite.
You mean mare's dick?
Mare's milk dick. You got the point.
Milk dick. Sounds like a disease.
I disagree with your statement, because every guy gets whiskey dick.
I'm speaking from experience.
I know. I am too. Every guy gets whiskey dick. It depends on how much they drink and how far they get.
What if they don't drink whiskey?
It's just called...
It's still
called whiskey dick.
Well, it's like whiskey throttle.
Yeah. You really want to call
everybody gets whiskey throttle.
Yeah.
I don't even know what whiskey throttle is.
So you get on like a motorcycle or a dirt bike or a four-wheeler and you...
Rev it?
You hit the gas, and then you start going a little bit out of control, so that makes you hit the gas harder, and you just...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called whiskey throttle.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. Okay, where are we going to?
Well, we got... So Viserys' punishment.
Oh my god, his punishment's amazing.
Wow, he's forced to walk at the back of the Khalasar with the slaves.
I think she should have taken his ear.
When Dani tells him this, he commands Jorah to kill to kill Jogo.
Yeah.
And to kill his sister or do something to his sister.
Hurt her.
And Jorah's like,
because apparently he can't get away with it.
Yeah, probably not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because Khal Drogo would come after him, whereas Viserys really can't do anything.
Well, and we get into Jorah's mind a little bit late, like right after this happens, when him and Dani are riding back, and she's like, well, I shouldn't have done that. Like, he's going to be the king, and Jorah's like, do you really want to see him sit on a throne? And she's like, yeah, he wouldn't make a good king, would he?
No.
Yeah.
At least at 13, she realizes this.
Yeah, this is where we get the point that
we
Jorah is no longer Viserys'.
Well, we're going all over this chapter anyway,
sword.
so it doesn't matter.
We're like in the beginning. We're in the opening scene, so anything in the opening scene is
because like she's in the opening scene, and when she goes down to the thing is when she starts reflecting on the dream that she had, and then it goes back to that's when he comes down and he starts being a douche to her. So,
but yeah, she had her dream with the dragon again, but Viserys was not in it.
Yeah, Viserys wasn't in this one.
In it.
And I feel like this chapter tries to get you to think that the dragon that she's seeing is Drogon.
Well, it's
the
telling
black
you it's
and
black
red
dragon,
yeah,
but
black dragon.
But it very well could be Balerion.
It could. But what if Drogon is a child of Balerion?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because Illyrio is the one who gave her the eggs. It's not like a Valyrian. It's not like a Targaryen hand-me-down thing.
Yeah, they could come from any.
I have a feeling that if Drogo's egg or Drogon's egg,
Drogon.
If Drogon's egg was a child of Balerion the Black Dread, that Illyrio would have mentioned that to her because of how famed.
What if they didn't know
Balerion?
Because I mean, it's not like they know
because he said he got him from like from a traitor.
Yeah,
that came from a shy. So I mean,
yeah. Well, I say that could be because
so he bought him off a poacher.
Yeah, because that could be my thing. Is like because Drogon leaves for weeks at a time. In the show, he just leaves for weeks at a time, and no one knows where he is or what he's doing. And so, in that time, if dragons were more common, then he could be mating with any dragon anywhere. And having eggs anywhere, and they wouldn't know where the bloodlines and the lineages are.
Well, they probably don't know where the bloodlines and the lineages are.
I don't think there's any relation between... I think it's just important that she's waking the dragon.
Yeah.
That's the important part of the dreams.
When
she wakes the dragon in her dreams, she leaves her dreams always stronger in the real world.
Yeah.
So that's why she feels comfortable enough to take her horse down the steep embankment and into the Dothraki Sea. Whereas before that dream, she wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, her dreams make her stronger when she dreams of the dragon.
And that's fair. I don't know, I just think that it could be potentially Drogon in the dream only because when she's talking about the eggs being warmed, like, she touches the eggs.
It very well could be Drogon.
And his egg is warm.
It's a big black dragon. Yeah. So, I mean, it very well could be Drogon.
And the one egg she is drawn to in the chapter is the black one.
Yeah. There's 3 eggs there, and she doesn't
goes
mention
for
anything.
The black one with the
they're
red.
all in the sun the whole time, but the only one she mentions being warm is the black one.
Right.
With the red.
Yeah. With the red scarlet.
Yeah.
Right. Which is probably the one she's dreaming of. It's probably Drogon.
Yeah. Which would be kind of fucking sweet.
Yep.
But he does that. I like
now,
that.
Does that mean that it's Drogon from, like, do dragons have magic? Can Drogon from inside the egg?
Oh, yeah.
Like, mentally, you say it like you're 100% certain that this is a thing.
I am.
know all about the functioning of dragons, do you?
I have 4 words into a 15-word sentence, and I am sold. Shut up and take my money.
I have dragonology books at home.
Yeah, I say based on.
Okay, so that's great. You have real books about fake things. That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's real books about fake things all the time. They're called fiction.
Yeah.
But no, the 2 things that I know about dragons in any series, in any book, is that they're the embodiment of fire and they're the embodiment of magic.
Okay, not what I was getting to.
Okay. Alright, then I'll let you finish what you were saying before I butt in again.
Does the dragon potentially have the ability to invade her dreams?
You mean like a warg?
Not like a warg, more like the 3-eyed crow does to Bran.
Yeah, like the consciousness touches the other consciousness and just makes them
if she's
aware.
The dragon, maybe.
Right, because there's thoughts and there's theories from people online that, like, the person who is... There's 2 people that are kind of like influencing Dani's dreams. Mm-hmm. That it's possibly Bloodraven and Quaithe, the lady with the starry mask. And that one is trying to keep her from birthing dragons, and one is trying to get her to birth dragons. I'm wondering if it's possible that it's actually Drogon himself putting himself in her dreams.
I would not be surprised about that.
True.
Her
I wouldn't be surprised about that either.
Yeah.
But then, if that's the case, then I would hope that, like, she can tell where he is when he's off for weeks on a time later.
But the thing is, if he's not mentally checking in with her...
Yeah, true. It's not like she can do it to
and maybe,
unless she can check in with him.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's more like a... Well, not now,
it's
because
a one-way walkie-talkie.
It's not trained. Like, she's not trained, but, like...
Yeah.
As, like, Jon gets, like, more ability to warp with Ghost, and the same thing with Bran, with Summer, like, they can, like, they're simpatico, like, they can check in on each other.
Yeah, and see what the other one's doing.
So I wonder if Dani kind of has that same... Because, I mean, it's always been a thought of mine that... Because in the books, the way they control the dragons is more like in those TV shows. She just kind of like jumps on them and we're flying a dragon.
Yeah.
In the books, it's more like she struggles with it.
Yeah.
And she has to like build this mental connection with the dragon.
It's not like Avatar where they just have their little weird braid thing that they intertwine with the other animal and they just automatically know
I like
thoughts.
that Avatar.
That's the bad Avatar.
I know. Yeah, but still, it's not like that.
You're entitled to your opinion.
Oh, you're going to tell me that Avatar, the TV show on Nickelodeon, was not as good as Avatar, the movie?
Oh, it's better.
And I don't mean the M. Night Shyamalan shitty version of...
He means like the legit anime
show,
one.
But the actual TV show on Nickelodeon.
I did not like Avatar.
Oh, well, you're the only one in this room then, so...
It happens a lot. It's okay.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
You'll get over it.
I don't know if I will. That's a fantastic...
You have gotten over a lot of shit.
Fantastic TV show.
It is a fantastic TV show. I do love that TV show. And,
it's amazing.
But I think that it is Drogon in the egg putting himself into the dream, which is why his egg is warmer, because he's doing more activity. Maybe it's just that the sun's hitting him.
It's a more active fetus.
Yeah, they make note that his egg, opposed to the other two eggs, even though his is the black one, is warmer, and she's more drawn to it because there's probably more activity there. And the same way that the Starks have their wolves, she's got the dragon.
Right, and that's what I think
she's most attached to.
Yeah, like what's the term for warging into it, or skin changing into a dragon? Because I'm pretty sure that's essentially what she's going to end up be doing.
Maybe she's
is kind of like a mental link with the dragon.
I was going to try to think about
I want to see that.
Like drag queen, but it doesn't really quite work as well as I was thinking.
Don't you dare, Septa.
No.
Septa, meow, you stay back.
She was going to jump on the counter.
She's like, I'm going to jump on her.
But yeah, because I've always kind of been a fan of it's Quaithe that's in Dani's dreams telling her to wake the dragon.
We only see Quaithe once in the show, right? She's got like the chainmail across her face.
But she's in the books more. She communicates with she flat out communicates with Dani like by magic and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know but after reading this chapter this time and noticing how that one specific egg was warmer, and that the dragon in the dream is almost certainly Drogon.
Yeah.
That I was wondering if it's not Drogon from the egg, basically connecting with Dani in her dream.
I just flat out think it is.
I like that idea better than
which I think is also the reason why they show her. And I think, the series in the series, they show Drogon's her favorite too in the TV show. Yeah. Drogon's always her favorite. She's always more drawn to him. She always favors him.
Yeah.
And he's a mama's boy. Yeah. He's sitting, the other two are sitting there fighting over a lamb in the sky. And he's just sitting on a rock with his head in her lap, just getting stroked.
Yep.
So.
And then he becomes a grumpy teenager and
takes
off.
And then
goes partying,
and then,
Yeah, it has to become a grumpy teenager.
Yeah,
so
well,
it works.
She had to be reminded, it's been so long since I might be cute and cuddly with you because you're my mom, but I'm still bigger than you and I will eat you.
Yeah, I'm still a giant fire-breathing, human-eating beast.
Yeah, exactly. And I will take your arm off.
And if I throw a tantrum, you might be in a problem.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I 100% think that this is Drogon, and I do think that there is a way. I mean, she might struggle with it because she probably doesn't have warging blood, and it's been so long since dragons are around. It's not like it's a common thing.
Or because she's never had anyone to teach her.
Yeah, but I feel like because it's been so long, and since she's the last one, I feel like there's no one to
Right, she has nobody because dragons for the Targaryens died out 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So nobody's had the experience of doing it for a generation.
Yeah,
or
whereas
two.
the Starks have had the weirwood trees to keep going with.
Right.
Yeah. So their bloodlines have been...
And it would also explain how she gets stronger, right? If Drogon's maybe able to, like, impart
His
some, like, magical
ability.
Yeah, some dragon magic into her brain while he's connected to her.
I like that theory. Maybe I'll write an essay on that theory.
Ooh, you steal my theory and write an essay on it? That's fantastic.
You're going to write an essay?
I write essays?
Since when?
I miss writing essays.
Yeah, essay.
No, that's write an essay. Thank you.
I'm not doing that.
I miss writing essays. I used to love writing essays in college and high school.
No.
I like essays. I don't like essays on things I have no fucking shits about, or give no shits about.
Essays are fun.
You're the English major.
I know,
essays are fun. Of course they're fun for you.
If I wasn't
English
going
and
to
history. All I did in college was write fucking essays.
If I wasn't going to school for medicine, I was going to go to school for English.
That doesn't shock me.
Well, that's good. You might be able to speak it at that point.
She talks too fast to be able to speak properly.
There's like a disconnect between the brain and the mouth, and one keeps going, and the other one's like, "Wait, stop!"
No, it's not.
The other one's going in reverse.
Following.
Yeah, no, and then its shoelaces it just flop right in the face.
All right, so we've got the dream. We've got Viserys' punishment.
Viserys being a douche. He's the biggest monger of douche in the entire planet.
Yeah, and then we get Jorah.
Yes, I love this conversation with Jorah and Dani
discussing Viserys.
Yes,
and Rhaegar. And Jorah, not a fan of Viserys at all.
Yes, Jorah is just like so. Jorah plunges his sword to him when he first meets him because he wants to make a good impression. I feel like, and then he realizes he's like, this guy is a little cuck.
Yeah,
like.
He's a cuck.
I was gonna say cunt and then cock, and it came out as cuck.
Which means Jorah's up there flashing the horns while he's ready.
Yes. So I like accidentally split two words together, made another word that already exists, and it still fit perfectly. I'm happy with this. This is a good night. So anyway, so we're back.
This is what happens when we podcast sober.
Oh.
Things make sense.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, well, one of us is on the long bottom leaf.
I'm always the odd one out.
You are?
No, the last 3 times I've been the odd one out.
This is true.
By choice.
Oh, absolutely by choice, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by choice. I like that. Alright, so back to the conversation. I like that Dani's upset because now that Viserys has to walk back, she's like, oh shit, I woke the dragon, didn't I? Like, this is bad.
Well, you know
like,
that.
Oh god, I woke the dragon.
Like, he ain't no dragon.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
Kind of hard to wake the dead.
Yeah, she's like, unless you can wake the dead, yeah, no, you're fine. Because Rhaegar was the last dragon, not your little shit piece that's over there.
Yeah, he's less than the shadow of a snake.
Yes.
That's like the ultimate insult
Pretty
for
much.
someone who's supposed to be a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jorah, not a fan. Basically gets Dani to admit that Viserys should never be king of anything.
Yeah. And so, alright, and I feel like in this chapter, I found some evidence of Jorah's growing attachment to her, but also his lack of respect for her because he's a double agent.
You mean a little...
Not quite that. Well, yeah, a little bit of him wanting that.
Are you calling him a cuck?
Yes.
That would make Khal Drogo a cuck.
Why? He's the one that's married to her.
Right, so if Jorah's banging her, the cuck is the person whose wife's getting banged in front of them.
Okay. Yeah. And Jorah's not that dumb because Drogo would rip his throat out.
Hell yeah.
Jorah would
castrate him.
He wouldn't even castrate him. That would be the last thing.
He'd be another dick off.
Like after he would be another dick off. Yeah, I was like he'd do a lot of things, and castrating him would be among them.
Yeah.
But so one of the first things is that he's very close to her. Like he doesn't separate himself from her ever.
Unless she commands it.
Yeah, he's Viserys' sworn sword. Even though we find out he has no respect for Viserys, he's Viserys' sworn sword. But he spends all of his time with Dani.
Yep.
And then on top of that. The entire chapter for after my thing says I'm on page 225 or whatever, from that first time after he calls her snake, the location.
No, your location number.
My location number is 3887. So yeah.
What does that mean?
Location, so everyone has the same exact spot in the
Even though they never match up.
Oh.
Huh?
They never match up.
They don't ever match up.
No.
But yeah, so he calls her girl. Like, he doesn't...
He calls her child, too.
Yeah, no, but...
She is.
But,
yeah, she's like 13.
But he calls her girl, and, like, it's like a disrespectful kind of thing, because she's a Khaleesi at this point, and, like, she's blood, so she's a woman. And he's referring to her as a little girl. I mean, like, she's...
No, because then women would be women before men are men.
Women are women before men are men.
Not in their world. Not in their world.
Right.
And a man is not a man grown until 16.
Yeah.
Regardless of anything else.
Yeah.
So, she's not a woman. Like, when she turns 16, she will be.
Even though they're still married off because they're women?
Right.
And they're childbearing years.
They're married off because they're breeding stock.
Yeah.
That's true.
And as soon as
that's
they turn...
the role of women in that world.
Yeah.
Have a child.
For some people, it still is here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he refers to her as girl.
I don't think he's
Constantly.
doing it. I don't think he's doing it disrespectfully, because remember at the beginning of the chapter when she commands that everybody stay behind, he's like, "Now you're starting to act like a queen."
Yeah. So
I don't think he's doing it condescendingly. Like, he's approving of her growing into her role.
I think he's doing it. I feel like, I don't know. To me, it comes off like it just came off that way to me. Because
if you're like a 50-year-old dude and you've got a 13-year-old girl around, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not she's like the queen, you're still gonna be like, "Yeah, you're a girl.
You're a child.
But
you're
a kid. Like, go have a tea party with imaginary people."
She's still his superior, though.
Well, yeah, she is. But they've also got like a bond because he's like the one person from the part of the world that she wants to like
be in,
right?
Be from.
And he's like her one connection to like the real world, because it can't be Vicerys because he's a douche and she hates him.
Yeah.
So he's like her one connection to the
be
world outside of
because he's been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wants to go back.
I don't know, I just felt like it was weird that, like, at first, like, he's not referring to
lady.
It's like, my lady, like, your grace, like that, like, you know, like the normal...
Well, they don't call... Maybe Khaleesi maybe a Khaleesi doesn't get called grace or milady.
So, yeah,
maybe Khaleesi's don't get
called... It's a different language.
Remember, Dothraki has no word for thank you.
Right.
It probably doesn't have a word for milady.
That's true. I didn't think of it as that far out, like, other than just straight up calling her Khaleesi.
Because they're completely different
they call
culture.
her Khaleesi because she's the queen.
Right, so
that's their queen.
when showing reverence for her, he does call her Khaleesi.
Yeah.
And is proud when she calls herself Khaleesi.
Mm.
So I don't think it's anything condescending. I just think that there's not another word for who she is. She's either Khaleesi or she's, a young girl.
Is it maybe George exaggerating? No. What's the word to, like, really point something out? Like, do it.
Pointing something out?
I don't know. No, not exclaim. I can't think of the word. Anyway, draw attention to it. Maybe this is what George's way of drawing attention to the fact that he's much older than her, and that it's something you should be aware of. So in a couple of her chapters, and he's really trying to get riding the pony, that it gets that much more creepy for you because he's like in his late 40s.
It's already been said a few times that he's 14? A lot older than her.
Huh?
It's been said a few times already that he's a lot older than her.
Yeah, I don't think
this is him accentuating. This is him accentuating that he's like, he's calling her girl because he's that much older than her.
I think it was just like an adult giving a kid some words of wisdom kind of thing. That's all I think it was.
Yeah. I think you're reading. I probably would have backhanded him.
I think you're reading too much into it.
Like, I call anybody who's under 30 kid.
I mean, I call anyone.
She can attest to that. Fucking, I always like fucking kids.
Yeah,
and they're like 25.
Kids.
I mean, I call
fucking kids.
And I think anyone 25 and under is 12 years old. So
I was saying, I call anyone who's under the age of 21 babies. So
yeah, exactly the same thing.
So it's an adult giving words of wisdom.
Even the last guy that I dated who turned 21 in September, I was like, God, you're such a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Exactly. That's all it is. Right. You're overthinking it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you just spent 10 minutes.
Just the way it happens.
But now we worked through this process of my brain, and now it's clarified and it makes sense to me.
And the listeners only need to hear.
Listeners have grown gray hair and died.
Yeah,
that's
10 minutes of their life.
So we can contribute to your funeral.
That's 10 minutes of their life they'll never get back.
10 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys. And ladies.
All
Sorry,
right.
people.
Lady Wyvern, what do you have to talk about?
Yeah, bring me some shit,
You're
man.
hiding over there in the corner.
Bring me some shit.
She's got a lot of
She's
talking
always got a lot
to
to say.
do, apparently.
She yaps her mouth all the time, flapping the gums.
You notice
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sitting over here just waiting for her to stop
There's,
breathing.
Yes.
there's a reason why my gums are always bleeding, you guys.
Shush. It's Lady Wyvern's turn to talk.
Oh.
Lady Wyvern, what do you want to talk about?
I'm gonna slap her.
Go for it.
You have to catch me first.
You're sitting in a chair. Probably not going to be that difficult. Just saying.
This is fair. Doesn't mean I can't just, like, make a run for it.
I mean, you could, but there's a wall right there. You can't go very far.
I close the
So
door.
My apartment only has one exit. You got to go past her to get to it.
That's true.
the other one you have to move the bed to get to it.
No, it doesn't even open.
You tried?
It doesn't open.
Oh.
It's like screwed shut or something.
Oh.
That's lovely.
Good. Good.
Actually, that one opens. You just have to remove the duct tape.
You got to remove the duct tape and remove the shit that's in front of it.
If there's a fire, you'll find a way out.
Well, if there's a fire, I'll find a way out. Don't you worry about that.
There's plenty of windows.
Me and the kitty cats, we'll find a way out.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you got to talk about?
What Dani was imagining when she asked Jorah what he prays for, and he said home, and she said that she prayed for home too, but she was thinking of something with a lot of red doors.
She's thinking of a red door.
But there's no doors at Dragonstone with red doors.
Right.
So she's not thinking.
Yeah, so we've mentioned this.
Everything in King's Landing is a red clay, but this is a red door.
It's like a red painted door.
Yeah.
That she thinks of.
King's Landing is
And
made of red
she
clay.
remembers, she remembers it from her childhood.
Isn't that the color
Lemon trees don't.
of the...
The Red Keep?
Yeah. Like
It's red.
like the huge door.
It's not painted red, though. And that's a bronze door.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
a
right.
bronze door. The Red Keep is made out of red clay.
No, Dani, when she remembers her childhood, she remembers two things.
The lemon tree.
The lemon tree.
And a red door.
And a red door. Supposedly in Bravos. Now, lemon trees don't grow in Bravos. And I'm pretty sure I've never seen a red door at Dragonstone. Which means Dani was probably raised somewhere else.
So she was born on Dragonstone and immediately was cut away.
Yes.
Maybe not immediately. I mean, it could have been after the...
After
or
the storm.
pretty close to immediately.
Yeah.
Because she was born right around the end
Within
of the
days.
rebellion.
Yeah.
And then raised somewhere else. And she's been told her whole life by Vicerys that it was Bravos, where she was raised.
What if Viserys is stupid enough to think that it was Bravos
I
too?
think he was lying to her.
Vicerys is lying to her because he's 8 years old. He was 8 years old at the time when they
Oh, so he
fled.
would know.
So he's older. He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want her to know.
Yeah, but for what reason?
She's speechless for once.
I know,
I'll take
and it was
it.
a rhetorical question.
Just
But she made the look like she wanted to answer it and then had nothing.
I was going to say some
I'm
words.
gonna... Nope. Nope.
Yeah! That's the meme in my head right now. Ah! Oh.
so she finally admits that she's known for a long time that Viserys cannot and will not take back the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, she's known that.
Yeah, like she comes to the conclusion that even if Khal Drogo gave him an army, he couldn't fucking lead
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So, my next thought...
And
you need to stop talking.
I was saying, but Jorah's also like, but do you even want him to be king? Like, think about that. Do you
Right.
want that kind of king?
Right. So my next thought is, if he's not going to do this, what are they going to do with Viserys? Is he just going to follow them around for
He's
their...
going to follow them.
He's gonna try and get them to, take over Westeros, and then he's gonna die, and they'll just go back to base Dothrak like
Well, I can
nothing
tell you
ever
what
happened.
I think should happen with Viserys, but it's not useful.
He should die regardless.
Not much of anything you say is useful, so why don't you go ahead and hit us up with it?
That is so mean. That is so mean.
I'm filled with useless information.
None of it pertaining to the books.
Pretty much. Even the information I find in the books is useless information.
Or Star Trek,
Except the
apparently.
weather.
We learned last time.
I don't know that much about Star Trek.
You don't know anything about Star Trek.
No, I don't.
We learned that last time.
Yeah, I know Stargate. I don't know Star Trek. What was the question again? What were we talking about?
Can I have it in a sentence,
My
please?
question is if she finally realizes that Viserys is not going to do any of this, he's not going to be able to. So, what hypothetically would happen with Viserys if he fails?
He dies.
Oh yeah, he would.
Does he die in battle, or would Drogo kill him for what
He would die in battle because Drogo would kill him. Because Drogo would be like, "Wow, no," and then just fucking kill him.
And say that the other side killed him?
Yeah, Drogo would just be like, he would literally just ride by, like, fucking stab him or cut him or something and be like, oops, and then just keep on killing people.
They call that friendly fire.
Yeah. He would get friendly fired by, like, 5 people at one time, and then they'd be like, oh, wait, was that our king? Oh.
I have a feeling that if Viserys... Alright, so spoiler alert, Viserys dies.
We know that.
Does he die the same way as he does in the show?
Do you want that spoiler?
Yes, I do.
Yes, he does.
Yes! I'm gonna touch myself tonight.
For the God. So, when you think of Viserys, you touch yourself.
But I think of Viserys dying.
Oh, okay.
Although the actor is gorgeous, and I do actually really love the actor.
But if Viserys, I believe that if Viserys had lived longer than he did, that Viserys would have been burned alive by Drogon.
Oh yeah,
because he would have tried to ride him,
and Drogon would be like,
nope.
Because I feel like the reason he would try to ride Drogon is because Drogon's the biggest,
and he's the dragon.
Yeah,
he's the dragon.
Yeah, he goes, I am the dragon. And, of course, him being the dragon has to have the biggest dragon.
Right, because Aegon rode Balerion.
Who's the biggest.
I think he killed Dani first to get to him, because Dani wouldn't...
I think he would try to kill Dani, and then Drogon would fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Roast him alive.
Because, so, he doesn't actually have the blood of the dragon, because he gets burned.
Well, he has the blood of the dragon.
Just not enough of it.
Dani doesn't... There's no... The blood of the dragon is not a thing in the books.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Like, because George has said that, like, the only, like, when Dani survived in the funeral pyre, the only reason was it was like a one-time magical event.
So she doesn't survive in a giant burning building?
But she can still take really hot showers.
Oh, wait, we haven't...
Like, they can, like, they can,
like,
right, that hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened. Okay.
Yeah. But, but George has said that, like, she's not immune to fire.
She's just immune to that because the dragon eggs were there.
It's because of... It's probably because of Mirri Maz Dûr's blood magic.
Oh, okay. So
because remember, Mirri Maz Dûr says, "You'll never hear me scream tonight."
Yeah.
When she's in the fire,
and then she starts screaming.
Yeah. And that's when Dani walks into the funeral pyre.
Yeah.
So Mirri Maz Dûr is burning alive, and so blood magic is being done, and so basically Dani's using a death to pay for a life.
Oh. Okay.
I like it.
See, alright, that would make sense, because my thought process would have been that between the blood magic that she's using, not necessarily the death to pay for the life thing, but that the blood magic that
that's what blood magic is. It's always a death for something, like the making of Lightbringer, right?
Yeah.
Plunged it through Nissanus's heart.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking the fact that there's the magic of the dragons themselves, like the eggs are in the pyre. So the magic of the dragons themselves, the fact that she has this connection already to this one dragon.
It wouldn't have been enough, because remember she grabs the one dragon egg from the brazier, and it burns her hands.
Oh, see, then, yeah, because I haven't
That's
gotten there. In the show, she doesn't burn.
Yeah.
In the show, she doesn't burn.
Right. In the books,
Jiqui burns. Like, her hands get burned.
Right.
But they look at Daenerys' and hers are spotless.
Right.
Like, she doesn't,
In the books, she's not immune to fire.
Okay.
And she can handle, like, warmer water than most people can.
Yeah.
But she's not immune to being burned. Like
Yeah,
the
no,
TV
because
show-
she still went
like
pink.
The TV show would have you believe.
In the chapter,
Okay.
she still goes really pink from the
hot water.
hot water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the books make it out to be, or the TV show makes it out to be like she's like just like immune to fire and shit.
Yeah, that,
But
like, she
she's
is,
not.
Yeah, that the blood of the dragon is fire resistant.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's not.
Or fire
like,
retardant
so
or
like
whatever.
the blood of the dragon is a TV show would have you believe it isn't a thing in the books.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
that's good to know.
So, Maester's favorite part's coming up next.
We're talking about
We're talking about when it's evenings. They are they're at camp. Her tent has already been put up, and she's getting ready for the night. She's taking her bath, getting her oil, that kind of stuff. And
oiling her hair
yeah,
because she's
Turning
dressing
into
like
a
a savage now.
Yeah.
yeah.
She's turning into a horse lord slut.
So- and they start
Horse
talking.
lord
I
slut.
mean, he does say that in this chapter, doesn't he?
Yeah, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you to command me? You're nothing but a horse lord slut.
Exactly. She's a horse lord slut. So now she's dressing like a horse lord slut.
I'm gonna slap her.
What?
She's trying to fucking say something.
Oh, yeah, you keep trying to words, and I keep wordsing over your wordsing.
Go for it. You want to punch her? Punch her. I don't care.
Okay.
Stop it, bad girl.
I'm sorry.
So it's evening time. They're at camp. They have the tents up. She's talking about ready for the night, and her and the girls are talking about dragon mythology.
Mm-hmm. And how dragons came into the world. Now, what are they? Now, which one is it? Daria?
Daria's the Lysine girl.
Right. So she's
Yes.
the one who tells them about tell us what she talks about.
About how
the planet used to have 2 moons.
Yep. And the moon got too close to the sun.
And cracked.
Yep. Releasing thousands and thousands.
1,000 dragons.
So that's like 1 million
That's
dragons.
1 million dragons.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I had that number
Yes,
right.
1,000.
I didn't know that 1,000 made 1 million.
Yes, 1,000 is 1 million.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright, that makes more... Okay.
There's like 999,999 plus 1 is 1,000. So you got 1,000 thousands.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So now there's 1 million dragons.
Right. And
On
that's
the
and
planet.
that's the birth of dragons.
And that is the birth of dragons. Yes.
Yep.
For Maester, you have a whole different.
Well,
belief on
there's
that.
other myths regarding this. Like there's 2 or 3 myths regarding the moon and the birth of dragons.
So why don't you tell us?
And
what
another
they are?
one that there is not that the moon got too close to the sun and cracked, but that the comet that shows up that is red was originally just a regular white comet and smashed into the second moon and broke it apart.
Oh.
And more dragons and
More
1,000
dragons.
dragons came
Escaped that way.
forth from the second moon that way.
And then it turned red because of the blood of the dragons that it killed while it was going through?
Right, because the comet is basically a stand-in for Lightbringer.
Oh.
The sword that was plunged into Nissa Nissa,
Mhm.
Moon Maiden. Moons are often considered to be maidens in fantasy stories.
Yeah.
So the comet goes into Nissa Nissa and comes out red, the red sword of heroes, Lightbringer.
Okay.
So a lot of people assume, and I was one of them people until like an hour ago, that
An hour ago.
yeah, literally
We'll get
an
there.
hour
We'll
ago,
get there.
that the Bloodstone Emperor did something to bring upon the Long Night,
Mhm.
like some sort of dark blood magic type of thing to bring on the Long Night. And then he may have been the one to fix it after the end, but
Question. It's about the long night. I need a clarification. Is the long night when the others were, like, first came?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's all I need to know.
And so he did something that called upon called upon the Long Night and
Created the
caused
Long
it
Night.
to happen.
Okay.
And that it took the forging of Lightbringer to defeat the others and the Long Night. And that
And to bring on summer.
the second moon that cracked, the Long Night was really a eclipse
Mhm.
of the sun, but that was somehow magical, and that the Bloodstone Emperor held the moon in place in front of the sun to leave darkness for a long time.
Now,
Oh.
see, we were discussing this earlier.
And she had the thought that, like, completely turned that on its head for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love it when we discuss this because he's like all dead set on his conspiracy theory, and then I say something, and he's like, "Why the fuck can't you do this during the podcast?"
Yeah, seriously, why can't you do it? So do it right now. Do it right now. Okay, so he's got his thing going.
So come on.
What did you say?
Wrinkle my brain.
Okay.
Yeah, wrinkle his brain on the podcast right now.
So he was telling me about it, and my thought was, well, if that's the case, then why couldn't the wizard
Bloodstone Emperor.
Bloodstone
The
Emperor.
wizard.
I couldn't think of the word.
Why couldn't the Gandalf?
The Bloodstone Emperor. Why didn't he use the sword or the magic to break the moon to bring us out of the long night, which let the dragons out and which created the comet? Or
use the comet
as
the way to break the moon out of the way and end the long night.
Creating the long night, maybe he ended the long night.
Oh.
It's fucking crazy, right?
Oh.
I have never heard that. I've listened to every fucking theory imaginable.
And I've never heard it before today.
I've never heard that one. That he used the comet to end the long night.
Yeah, he saw an opportunity. He grabbed that bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have dibs. This is my conspiracy theory, guys.
Apparently that's your conspiracy theory.
None of you listeners can take credit for this shit. I get my first conspiracy theory.
I mean, I'm just saying, it might have existed before. I've never seen it.
And you watch every video you can find on it.
Linda, listen. You have your own tinfoil. You have your tinfoil.
I have my first tinfoil. I need a badge.
I'm so proud of you.
You can no longer make fun of us for tinfoil.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make myself a pin.
Ooh, that's good.
Out of tinfoil?
My other hat is made of tinfoil.
I came up with original tinfoil, and all I got was this shitty pin.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, I need to make a merch store.
I'm so proud of myself.
Not that we're gonna have merch for a while, but I need a merch store.
That was crazy. Yeah,
Isn't it?
That was really cool. I like that thought. That
is a great thought process.
I never heard the conspiracy theory about that before you told me about it earlier today. Or you may have mentioned it in passing because we've talked about Nissa.
Yep.
But it didn't stick with me.
No, I like that. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Who knows, Linda? Who knows? I listen to you.
That's a really good theory. I like it.
I'm gonna be stuck on that for the rest of the night.
Alright.
Shit.
On the Linda or
listen, Linda.
Please don't.
I love that video.
No, we're done with it. Let's move on.
I'm trying.
Let's move on.
I'm trying.
What else do we got to go over?
I like
supper time.
I just like her big copper tub that was a bride gift that they're hawking that thing around.
Yeah, it's probably on a.
It's a giant copper tub that can hold 3 people.
There's only 2 of them in the tub.
Khaleesi's got to bathe.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
She's not allowed to wash herself, apparently.
See, and I think that's hilarious because
no, it's like Coming to America.
Yeah.
The royal penis is washed.
Oh,
yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he doesn't clean himself in Coming to America. Akeem does not clean himself in that movie.
Well, once he comes to America, he does.
Yeah,
but at the very beginning, he has servant girls who wash the royal penis.
Never seen it.
And brush his teeth for him and everything.
You have to watch Coming to America.
That movie's hilarious.
I'm good.
Eddie Murphy, fucking Arsenio Hall. That movie's so good.
That movie's hilarious. Yeah, so Darth Vader / Mufasa is in that movie.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm better.
Okay. But yeah, so I think it's hilarious that they've got this giant ass tub. And then so in the show they always show people like when they're bathing, there's someone standing outside the tub and bathing them. And then what's her face? I can't say her name. Jeequee.
What's so hard about that?
Just remember,
it's literally like one letter plus queen.
I'm gonna start
Queen.
Can I just call her Gigi?
No. You and your damn nicknames. I'm so over them.
I can't keep shit straight. I have to go with my own thing. But Jeequee is like sitting in the tub with her.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've all my chick friends and I have always slept in the same bed together. Half the time we're half naked. Sometimes we're all naked. We're sleeping in the same bed together. But none of us have ever taken a shower together or a bath together.
I can say none of us have ever taken a shower together.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So, there's a difference between...
There's a difference between a naked sleepover and
everyone taking a communal bath.
Alright. So...
Who's E.T.? The jungle... Oh, it's a place. Never mind. Jungles of E.T.
Yes.
I just, looked at my book and all I saw was E.T. and I'm like, wait, who the fuck is that? Oh, God. Okay.
So, she...
The look you're giving me.
Do you want me to slap her again?
Do what you gotta do.
Turn over, honey.
I mean, if it's not my butt, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. That's why I said turn over.
Alright, so what else do we have that we need to talk about?
She's having supper with Doria,
You know?
and she's asking her for sexual advice.
I don't.
Wait,
so
Sexy time.
I was told.
I was going to say, in the book, it's not obvious until she brings Khal Drogo outside to have sex with him.
It doesn't even, like, yeah, like, it's
It just says they're up talking until the moon is well risen. So they've been up
talking
for hours
does not mean
talking.
finger fucking each other.
I didn't say they were finger fucking.
I know,
said
but he didn't say they were finger fucking each other either.
Nope, he didn't.
God. I was explicitly told that there were chick sex scenes in here with those two, so she could learn how to fuck Drogo better, and then she just does it on her own with a couple, like...
Pointers?
Yeah, a couple
pointers.
pointers. Like, hey, take him outside and fuck him under the stars. He'll like that.
You know, she's 13. She needed some advice.
And
You know,
what's her face
Doria
was
was a
9.
whore.
She was sold to a whorehouse when she was 9.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows what she's doing.
Exactly. Because she's almost 20. So she's been doing it at least 10 years.
No, because she didn't touch a guy until she was 12.
Right, but she still had to practice.
That's true, so she probably had sex with women. So she didn't have to... No, I see what you did there. She didn't have to touch a guy, so she touched women.
Mm-hmm.
And those women were other women who lived and worked in the whorehouse.
That's fair. Okay. Now I have a sad.
Get off the microphone.
Sorry. I like to rest my face on things when I have a sad.
No.
And she did this in front of the entire Khalasar.
Yeah, she mounted him and
Like a
rode him
horse.
like silver.
Yeah.
Silver. Oh, that was the
silver.
other thing. Yeah, that was the other thing that I forgot that I wanted to bring up is that
She wanted to talk about the horses.
the horse. Yeah, of course. I wanted to, of course, more of a horse.
Now for our rodeo segment.
Yes. No, it's our equestrian segment. Thank you. Jesus Christ, what am I, a heathen?
Apparently we're heathens over here, Maester.
Rodeo sounds a lot more fun.
It is, but it's not nearly. It's very specific. So
Yeah, it's a rodeo.
Okay!
I understand. Like, I don't know how I want to verbalize this. Evidently,
Just say it.
I think it's weird that. I mean, it's not weird, but I think it's still weird to me that they don't. They have a very strict non-attachment policy to any of the animals.
Well, they
all.
eat horse all the time.
Yeah, because the two things they have in abundance are grass and horse, and you can't eat grass.
Right. So why do you want to get attached to your dinner?
Well, because I would assume that the horses that they have for riding are not also necessarily the horses that they have for meat.
They could have been horses that used to be for riding.
Yeah,
And
they can't ride anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
but
in my mind, it just blows my mind that, like, I would, beyond a shadow of a doubt, never think that they would kill Drogo's horse for food. Because it is the best steed that they have, or the best mount that they have.
Right, they won't,
Whether it's a mare or a
unless he
stallion.
can no longer...
Yeah, unless
perform.
it can no longer do anything. But I would be I'm surprised that they don't have, they don't refer to him as any kind of name,
They're heathens, though.
But yeah, that there's no, Drogo can't be like, hey, go get what's his face.
No,
and,
go get my
do it.
steed.
Yeah, go get my mount or whatever. Where she starts referring to her horse as the silver.
Because it's a
silver horse to go with her hair.
She's acquiring the customs of her people.
And she's trying to get herself accustomed to the way that they do things. Because she thinks it's weird, too, that they don't name their horses.
Well, because it's not something she's used to.
Yeah.
Because then horses are tools.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's exactly what they are to the Khalasar.
Yeah, they're food. They're tools and they're food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're means to an end.
So why would... I'm sorry, I don't name my tools. So they have sex in front of the entire Khalasar.
I like that she undresses him. He comes into the tent.
Well, she's taking control of it.
Well, yeah, no, but she comes into the tent. I always forget that he has bells in his hair, too, which I really fucking like. Anyway.
Because they weren't in his hair in the TV show.
No, they weren't, yeah. And I still see Jason Momoa in my mind, even though it's more of a Tom Selleck.
For the fourth time, she takes him outside and fucks him.
But it's more. I feel like it's more than that, though. It's not just.
It is because she has control over it, not him.
And she's
that's
like,
no, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, she's circling him too.
She takes him outside and she fucks him.
She undresses
instead
him.
of the other way around.
Yeah, and she's like circling him like he's prey. Like she doesn't.
He did it to her on their wedding night.
Did he? Did he circle her?
At least in the TV show, he did.
Yeah, I say he didn't. I don't remember him.
Walked around her, undressed her, grabbed her boob.
And
then take a look.
And yeah,
maybe that's what she was doing
the
too.
book, he didn't circle her in the book. He just laid down, like he just got fucking naked, got her fucking naked, and then just sat down in front of her. I was just like,
waited.
He's like, look at my junk, lady. This is nice.
And then waited.
And then and then waited. He waited for those horny teenager hormones to kick in.
The important part here,
is that she's circling him like a fucking lion. And then undressing him, and then fucking him, and riding him like a horse. I know. We're past that part.
Yeah, we've been past that part 3 times.
You keep coming back to it.
I don't know. I'm tired. Let's see.
Can we move on to the last important point? Nope, apparently not.
No, so what's up? What's up with him? With him calling her name? What's the importance of him calling her name out? I feel like there's something important about that. I feel like that's not something that
most
guys.
That's how much pleasure he's gotten that he's like, instead of screaming out, "Oh God!"
If there's anything more,
he's screaming out her name,
or just like making a grunting sound.
Right?
I suppose.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So that's
it's just indicating that she did a good job.
That's usually what it means. Have you never had anyone call your name?
The 13-year-old.
No, I have. I'm just saying. Like, I feel like in this though, it's more significant.
I don't think there's anything more significant to it than.
Well, I think
what it is.
Yeah, I think she thinks it's significant because she thinks that she's done a good job because she obviously
got off.
brought him pleasure.
Because he got off.
Well, it's not that hard to get a guy off usually.
But then
there's a couple.
Okay, so we've got. So he got off. So what does that bring us to? Lady Wyvern.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant!
So how long? How long? Because this has happened before where it's not clear between one paragraph to the next.
Yeah, none of it's ever clear.
Yeah.
And we don't know.
We don't know.
So we don't know when this whole thing happened.
We don't know
that
how long it took them the rest of the sea. We just know it was long enough for her to start having a baby bump.
Yep.
So it could be 2-3 months. It could be
a couple weeks.
Well,
if
for a first child baby bump, it usually takes into like the second trimester before they even notice that they're pregnant.
Okay, so
it took a while.
Yeah.
So it is called the sea for a reason.
It's vast. You look at a map, it's huge. Huge.
I'm sure you have a map on that one.
Oh wait, that might be a copyright infringement that I just did.
It's huge. Anyway. So we end the chapter with Dani discovering that she's pregnant. Or actually,
she does. Yeah, she knows.
She knows that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
It's her handmaidens that are finding out.
Yeah.
And what day is it?
It's her name day. She's turned 14.
Okay.
So she's been pregnant since before she was 14.
So she got pregnant at 13.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh shit, you're pregnant. And she goes, yeah, fucking no.
Yep, pregnant.
Like, yeah, thanks for finally noticing something about me, you guys. I'm your fucking Khaleesi, and you didn't even have the decency to fucking notice I've been having morning sickness for the past 6 weeks. Fuck all of you.
We thought it was just from eating the horse meat.
Well, if you read what she had for dinner, what she normally has is
it's snowing.
Beautiful.
And the roads are all...
We're almost done.
Those roads are all
We're
gross.
almost
Beautiful.
done. She has fruit and cheese and and wine.
G-Quee.
There's not a lot of meat in their diets.
See, I wouldn't call it G-Quee. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was looking at it. I wouldn't call it G-Quee because that's not how you pronounce that. Spaz attack. I can't focus.
Well, we're almost done. I'm trying to finish it, and you're not letting. You keep stopping, and I can't finish it. Damn it! If you keep stopping, it's going to take longer to finish. It's like
just
sex.
keep stopping. She can't finish, and then you're stuck there forever.
You're going to end up with blue balls.
That's unfortunate.
Yes.
That's not a real thing.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do. I do know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
Can we complete the fucking chapter?
I suppose. Well, we kind of did, didn't we? Oh, we have to come up with a title for it.
How about we let her finish her fucking thought that you interrupted before we go on to that?
Oh, okay. All right, finish your thought, please.
I don't even remember what I was talking about.
I don't either.
Welcome back to the Widow Wolfsbane show, where the rest of us just kind of sit here and pretend we're involved.
Yeah, now we have the chapter. That's the next segment of the Widow Wolfsbane show.
What do you got?
You call it the
I don't know.
sea voyage or something.
I just I enjoyed the chapter a lot, but I couldn't think of a title that would. No, really? I feel like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people that have read this would not have necessarily read the Chronicles of Narnia.
Well, it depends on how old they were. If they're like me, then they.
Well, I hope they
I
did,
read all
because
the Chronicles of
Narnia. We spent a long time going over The Lion, the Witch, and the Armoire. A few chapters ago.
Yes, we did.
So I hope that they read them.
Yes, we did. And Aslan Targaryen. Oh my god. I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't get that sooner now. So disappointed in myself.
I was thinking something referencing Dani and the growth she's made as a person.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, come up with this title.
I want to, growing up the Thraki.
Growing up the Dothraki.
Yeah, growing up the Thraki.
That. I like that, actually.
Because, she hasn't really ever grown up, and now she's, literally growing as a person. She's growing a person.
And growing as a Dothraki.
Yeah, and she's doing it all as a Dothraki.
What about keeping up with the Khaleesi?
Keeping up with Khaleesi.
I like that. Let's do that.
Keeping up with Khaleesi?
I like that one. Keeping up with Khaleesi. As much as we all hate the
because even at the end, Khal Drogo has to keep up with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably could, but I imagine it wasn't an easy task getting him off by herself like that for the first time that she's doing it.
No.
She's a good teacher, but still. Yeah, I like that.
Keeping up with Khaleesi?
Keeping up with Khaleesi.
Alright, we'll go with keeping up with Khaleesi.
Okay.
Alright,
what's our next chapter?
Bran!
Bran! Oops.
Bran chapter 4.
Drew right by that shit. Bran! Alright.
Yep, we got Bran chapter... Ben will be joining us for Bran chapter 4.
Yes, he will. Our first Patreon. So, Ben's gonna be...
Patron,
yes.
Yes, our first Patreon patron.
I'm excited.
Maybe we'll drink some Patron on the show to honor the patron who's here from Patreon.
Yeah, but then he doesn't get any, and that's not fair.
I will send him
in 2 days.
$1.30 over PayPal or something, so he can go to a liquor store and get himself a little shot.
He may be underage. You never know.
And we'll drink Patron at 9 o'clock in the morning, because why not?
Then he just can't get it himself. Like any of us here ever didn't drink under the age of 21. Come on.
Yeah, so we get next time we get an old man story next time in Bran 4. We get old man telling us about the last hero and his 12 companions.
Oh.
And how he brought an end to the long night and defeated the White Walkers, the others.
I wonder if the dragon tale has anything is mentioned in it.
The dragon tale?
The moon and the dragons and the end of the long night. To go with my conspiracy theory.
Nope, it's not.
Damn.
Sorry. No conspiracy theory yet for you.
Nope, but it's the story of the last hero.
Alright.
Who I think was Bran the Builder.
I was gonna say, I think his name was Brandon.
I think to some people.
I said I think.
Yeah.
But I have to read the chapter.
I think it was Bran the Builder, the last hero.
Alright. I guess we'll see.
Sorry.
That's the second time you've done that.
It's because I grew up
watching
just at the end
Bob
of the age.
Builder.
Yeah, just at the end of the age.
The first time it was Bob.
It is Bob the Builder.
Robert. Right, I know.
Yeah, Rob.
The first time it was Bob. And now you have to do it with Bran.
Because it fits.
I'm tired of dealing with your Bob the Builder shit. No matter who we mention. We've got Bran next time. It's exciting.
With our patron.
With our patron.
With Ben. So that'll be a cool discussion.
Can't wait.
Be fun. And then
get to see how crazy we really are behind the scenes.
Yeah, scary thought.
Oh god, he's got to deal with all of the shit that we do that gets cut out in editing.
You say we, like the rest of us are involved in your shit.
Well, I mean, you guys are. You just aren't doing it willingly.
Right, we're not
We
involved in it.
sit back and watch you with
innocent
a what the
bystanders
fuck
run
on our
off the
face.
sidewalk by your crazy driving.
I wouldn't call you guys innocent.
I would.
I wouldn't.
Well, that's the difference between you and me, because I would.
You guys are definitely not innocent.
I love you no matter what, but
Alright, so we will see you guys next time when us three and Ben are discussing Bran Chapter 4.
Bran Chapter 4.
have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye.